Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for coming back. If you're new here, you are welcome as well. Consider subscribing to join this family. So in this video, I'll be showing how to make this trending COWL kaftan dress. So as you can see, I have my two beautiful fabrics of two different colors. That's exactly the fabrics I'll be using. I really wanted a very softer material, but then this is what I got. So I'm going to be managing this one. You can use satin, silk fabric, any soft fabric that you prefer. So I have these two. I have my tape rule. I have my pattern master or straight wool, then a piece of chalk and my pair of scissors. That's what I'll be going to be using for this tutorial. Okay. So guys, before me is a sketch of this dress, and it looks like a triangular form with a different kind of necklines. I'll be using V neckline. Now the center front will be going up a bit at the hemline, and we'll be also be needing the shoulder line to your sleeve length to be able to cut in the full length of the gown. So let's get straight to this tutorial. Now mind you, this is going to be cut on bias, like how I've folded it like this. You need to be cut on bias. Now, like I said, from one side of my neckline to my sleeve length, I'll be using 20 inches. I'll be adding 1 inch for seam allowance. So exactly what I'm marking on it. Now to cut it, you can follow the bias line like this, or you can make sure to make it a straight line. But since my fabric is not that soft, I'll try and go by the bias line. So here I kind of try to make it a bit straight to be able to align with the other side of it. So that's what I'm doing. I'm marking 21 inches on their bias fold. And then again, how straight or how biased this is will determine the draping of this gown. Okay, so back to the length of this. The length that I'm using is 50 inches plus 1 inch allowance. You can also go ahead and make it as long as you prefer. Okay, so this is it after marking. It is 51 inches long, 1 inch for seam or hem allowance. So that is it. I'm going to cut this out. But before then, I'm pinning it down to avoid it from slipping off. So guys, after cutting the first piece, I'm going to use that to cut that of this hot pink fabric. As you can see, I make sure that is also on a bias fold. So I'm using the first piece, that is the peach color, to cut the same for this hot pink fabric. So guys, I have two pieces for this. I have one for the peach color and that of the hot pink color. So guys, up to this time, if you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing, like this video and share this video to your friends and family. Okay, so I'm making sure to trim off the excess of the fabric, and then I'll make sure that my half of my shoulder plus my sleeve length, which is 20 inches plus 1 inch seam allowance, is accurate. So I just confirm that it is accurate. So now the openings are going to be our center. They are going to be the back center and the front center. So we are determining our sleeve line. The sleeve is not going to be on the side, but rather here from the folded edge inward. So I'll be using 6 inches for my sleeve. You can go ahead and make it 7 inches or less, say 6.5, but I want to make it 6 inches due to my around sleeve. So after marking that, I'm going to give it a notch. I'm going to give it a notch like this. Then after that, I'll make sure to stitch the centers before I cut the neckline for this dress and the hem opening. Now the hem opening is actually going to be on the center front, so you can go up by 10 inches, 11 inches, as high or as low as you want. I'm gonna make mine as 17 inches, so that's what I'm going to be using. And I'm going to make sure to stitch the center front before I cut this out, because you don't want to make any mistake here. It's only going to be on the center front, like I said. So I'm just showing you how I'm going to be marking it. So this is it. So I'm just going to take my fabric to the sewing machine and stitch down the centers of this dress. So stay tuned. Before I go, I'll make sure to pin down the notched area of the sleeve to make it more secure. So guys, after stitching both the centers of this dress, I'm now going to determine the necklines for them. So you can choose one side to be your front, your center front, and the other side to be your back, your center back. Yeah. Okay, so this is going to be my center front, so I'm going to use the other side to be my center back. Okay, so this is our sleeve area where we notch for the sleeve. Okay, so now let's move to the marking of our neckline. So my neckline, I'm going to go in by 3 inches for the width. You can as well make it 4, to your preference. So I want mine to be 3 inches because I kind of want the depth of it to be quite longer. So I guess your wideness and then length should be reasonable. Let me put it this way. So for the depth or the length of the neckline, I'm marking 7 inches. So I'm gonna give it like kind of V shape, not straight though, but a kind of V shape. So you can actually make it any kind of shape that you want your neckline to be. So I went ahead and cut it off after marking. So guys, now I took the other side, which is the center back, to cut that of the back neckline. Now for accuracy, you can choose to use the front neckline piece as a guideline, or better still, you can mark 3 inches for the width and then go down, or mark 1.5 inches or 1 inch for the depth of the back neckline. So I went ahead and placed that of the front neckline piece to make sure they are equal, before I shaped it out. I shaped the back neckline out and cut that also out. Okay, so after that is done, I took out the pin for the sleeve, the pin that I used to secure the sleeve, and opened this out. So guys, as I said earlier, the curvy shape at the hem is only at the front side of the dress. So that's what I'm marking. Like I said, I'll be going by 17 inches from the hemline. You can go less or more. So that's what I'm marking right now. Now, after marking, you join it to the other end of your dress, or you join it to the center back of your dress. So now I'm using a ruler to create out the shape. You can use your free hand to do it as well. This is so for ease of movement. We are making this shape out of the dress for ease of movement. So after marking, I'm just going to cut this out. Now for the necklines, I'll go ahead and give them facing. If you want to pipe yours, it's okay, but then I prefer to give them facing. So I just open this out. I went ahead and matched shoulder to shoulder this way. I'm just making sure to align everything together before I take it to the sewing machine to stitch down the shoulders. Now for the seam, you can open it out and flat iron it, or better still, you can knit it. So I'll take it to the sewing machine and sew it up to where I notched. I'll stitch up to where I notched and stop. Exactly for the other side as well, I will stitch up to where I notch and stop at where the sleeve starts. Stitch, put it like this, fold it like this and stitch it up to where the notch is and stop. Okay, so this is it after stitching and knitting the inseam. So this my facing for the necklines. I'll later hem it to the dress. So that's it. I knitted it, and for the shoulders, I stitched and knitted it up to where the sleeve starts for both sides. So this is the sleeve opening. Okay guys, to show you how I cut out my facing for the necklines, I just folded my necklines like this and placed a piece of the fabric under it and trace out or mark out a small portion of it this way for the facing. So you fold it this way. Like I said, after the facing has been knitted and everything, I will make sure to hem it to the dress later on. Now for the sleeve, I went in to stitch it by 1/2 inch since I've already knitted all around. The same for the hemming opening. Thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for more videos. Subscribe, like this video and share. See you on my next video. Bye.